Hello, and welcome to Notes9. I'm David Leedy. Episode 145, Simple Feedback in XPages. Okay, so this is kind of, I guess, what I'm considering a bonus show that I'm very happy to have. This goes back a long time, actually. I think to early 2013. And I got this on my Skype message one day out of the blue. Tim is sending me a message saying he wants to record a quick show, and it has nothing to do with Java, which was kind of surprising. And what happened is he did, and I have the logs, and we talked about it a little bit and stuff like that. And I guess sometime after that, he uploaded it, and I just plumb forgot about it and totally missed it because I suck, and my organization is poor. I've got behind the scenes, I've got like 50 shared Dropbox folders with contributors and possible contributors and hopefully future contributors. And if someone drops something in and I don't see it, or I just plumb forget about it, then I don't have a good way to go back in and get a reminder of that if I don't get a reminder from the contributor. So that's kind of what happened here. So I've been sitting on this for a long time, and I'm kind of happy to get this out. So of course this is a Tim show, and who's he? If you've been living under a rock, he's a dear friend who has passed away. We've talked about this a little more on two shows ago. Last show a little bit, 2 shows ago. Um, so again, he's greatly missed and will always be. So I do want to just quickly mention this because again, I have been talking about this as OpenNTF is working on an initiative, Code for Tim, hashtag Code for Tim. I highly recommend you look into this. You try to share what you can. And if you need help sharing something or you can't find something to share, drop me a line. I'm happy to help you because we can find things to share. That's no question about that. So I did just want to do this. This Tim and Notes9, and I wanted to recognize this for a little bit. So Tim has contributed, not counting this show, but he's come on to the show 9 times. So he's been one of the best contributors to Notes9. He's done over three and a half hours, just about, not counting this show of Notes9 episodes. Now that's not just his demos; that includes my little rambling and stuff like that. But still, that's just how I calculate it. So he's always been a good friend of Notes9. And here's a screenshot from my crappy XPages.tv site of all his shows. If you just wanted to kind of see what's there, and I'm going to be making that better at some point in the future. But he has given us a lot of good stuff, and it's kind of funny because today's show I think is the easiest one he's ever done. It's really kind of a simple concept. There's no Java. There's nothing all that fancy about it. So that's just kind of fun, I guess I would say. So, what today's show is going to be about is basically just, you hit a save button, you want to send a message back to the user. I mean, the old Notes days, you do like save and close and stuff like that, and that doesn't quite work as well or is used as much in the web. So this is just about basically showing a little response back to the user. So with that being said, let's go to the demo and Tim Tripcony.
Hello. Today we're just going to take a look at a very simple UI pattern. You're probably used to setting required fields on your XPages so that if a user tries to save without filling in required information, then they get some feedback to that effect. But it can be very useful to also give them feedback indicating that something actually worked. So in this case, we're going to fill in both required fields. And now, instead of being yelled at for leaving required information blank, they're informed that the document actually saved. And so traditionally in Notes apps, we would take them somewhere else. So they'd have like a save and close button. That's not quite as common on the web. So it's sometimes useful to leave them where they are, but just inform them that something went right instead of going wrong. So the way that I've implemented this is extremely simple. So I created a status message custom control. And this doesn't even accept any arguments. All it does is we've got a div component that uses two CSS classes from the standard One UI framework. So those are Lotus Message and Lotus Info. And that basically then ensures that we get the blue background with the roundy corners there. So then inside, I've got an image component that is using our IBM XSP res syntax to point to the root of basically the HTML folder in the data directory. And then one UIV2, and there's an image in there for info. There's also a corresponding warn and error icon. And then just a computed field. And here's the key. It's bound to request_scope.status message. So on our simple feedback X page, the save button is literally just, if we go to the events tab, on click is just a standard save document event. So it's bound to the contact data source, and then a one-line execute script. And all that does is request_scope.put status message, your changes have been saved. So this status message custom control, the entire div is just set to not render if there's nothing in request_scope.status message. So, so as a result, if there are other events after we displayed this feedback to them, then this feedback would go away, unless, of course, you know, the subsequent event populated something else in here. And so that's all there is to it. One other subtlety, though, because actions in an action group run in serial, and any issues with a previous action cause the rest to never execute. With this pattern, if the save fails, then they don't see that their changes have been saved. So obviously, you know, in this example, that's a good thing. We only want them to see it if it worked. And of course, if they leave required information blank, then it never runs this event to begin with, because the input validation phase cancels the invoke action phase. So just wanted to provide that as a very simple pattern to give users some pleasant affirmative feedback when something works, not just negative feedback when something doesn't.
And that's the demo. If you have any questions for me, here's my contact information, and I thank you for your time.